Oh, Sean Weasel, you're in trouble, baby. Naughty boy, naughty boy. You need a big spanking. For thou hast committed transgression against God's commandment, and you have lied to your students. And thou shalt receive punishment thereof. You have transgressed. This is mockery at this point. Give me a break. What are we looking at, Sean Weasel? And, wherefore dost thou concoct such an idea that it would be okay for thee to lie to thy students, eh? That is transgression, and thou shalt be punished accordingly. And I can't do anything about that. This is your decision. You've made the choice, and stop lying to your students, baby, because you're going to hell, baby. Hell is hot. Hell is hot right now. Have you heard about Lake Mead drying up? I haven't heard you touch on this subject much, and it's a geological subject. Excuse me, and you haven't touched on it yet. But you know why Lake Mead's so hot, baby? I'll tell you why Lake Mead is so hot and drying up. Because hell is hot, baby. Oh yeah, them flames are. They cranked up the heat a bit down there, baby. They're expecting a few folks. They're expecting a few folks, and you're one of them, right? That is correct. Thou hast committed transgression against God's commandment. Therefore, thou shalt be punished accordingly, right? Absolutely. You son of a bitch, absolutely. Give me a break.
All right, welcome to Crowley Lake Stone Columns. This really little scenic area right along the shores of Crowley Lake here in
Okay,
the eastern part of the
great.
Sierra.
Stop there and shut up, Sean. This is what a geologist ought to be doing right here, because this is the truth. You see in the background here, we got buildings that are melted down. These gargantuan brick and megastructures, right? And they're on this water feature that's right in front of them here. This water feature supported the plumbing needs and the water needs of these gargantuan megastructures in the past. They have since been melted down. This water feature, likely fed by a spring system of some kind, which we don't know much about, but fed by springs is why we see this water feature still standing today, and it once did feed the plumbing needs of these gargantuan melted megastructures in the background here along the shores of this water feature. That's what you should have been saying here, Sean Weasel, but you didn't. That's what the geologist should be pointing out, but you didn't. That's the geology of this area, but you didn't. Right? That's the meltology of this area, rather. Because geology don't exist, baby. Geology don't exist, baby. You jackwagon. You're a jackwagon, baby, and you're not going to mention these writing on walls back here, are you? Because they don't what? They don't fit your narrative back here. You see these right here, folks? He's gonna stay as far away from this brick wall here, this writing on brick wall as he can, because what we're talking about are these round tufa towers here in the front. These round little tufa towers right here is what we're talking about. And with the ridiculous narrative that they place on these round tufa towers, they don't fit these writing on walls here. So you're going to see something interesting here. He's going to avoid that section intentionally, which suggests to me that our friend Shawn Weasel here may be hiding something, eh? And that he does know something, that he's not just a fool repeating what he's been told. Give me a fucking break. Give me a fucking break. He's out here every day. He records a video out here in the melt. And you don't think that he knows that they're bricks by now, or that he's been let off, told off, and made aware of this so that when he does get confronted, which was inevitable. It was going to happen because it is. I'm confronting you, Sean. I'm confronting you, Sean Weasel. I'm confronting you, and your students will hear about it. I'm not going to tell you when, but they'll hear about it, and they all will hear about it, and they can decide. It will only take one of your students to get upset, baby, for things to start going awry in your world. Trust me, it'll take one student to get upset for things to go awry in your world, eh? And we've only just begun. We haven't done nothing yet, baby. And I'm not threatening you. I can't control how others react to the truth. Eh? I can't control how others will react to the truth, baby. Give me a break, you lying sack of potatoes.
And Lee Vining. Super crowded day here, so it's a little busy.
Oh, yeah, big whoops. You're going to cry about all the people around because you don't want people to hear your nonsense. So you have to be quiet over here and whisper, eh? Yeah, because you don't want people to hear your nonsense bullshit.
We can work through this geology a little bit and show some of these features.
Hey, you know what, Sean? That's a great idea. Let's work through some of this geology and look at some of these geological features. That would be a great idea. That would be a great idea. Let's work through some of this geology and look at some of these features, eh? Great idea. Now, obviously, we're looking at the same size pillar here, the same size fucking pillar made of red bricks, and they're smoked into brick ash, yes? Excuse me, as I belch while I speak. This is ridiculous, Shawn Weasel. And 2 foot tower, nothing. Now, what he's going to say is here, I'm going to skip past it. I'm not going to let you speak, Shawn Weasel. How about that? Now, this is what he says. Volcano went off somewhere this way. Here, let me get some arrows here. This way. Volcano went off somewhere up the hill. And what it did was it farted first. It farted and it blew out some dust, a bunch of dust, and it coated everything. It blanketed everything, the dust. Okay? And then next, um, okay, the volcano had farted first, and then it ran, and the flow came flowing, and it flowed down over the blanket of ash, and because of that, it was very thick, a very thick, bubbly layer of, let's say, lava and ash, lava on top of the ash. Then gases and such, which were trapped, were trying to make their way up through the lava and brick ash. And as this happens, the gases were reacting the with the with the lava, and new minerals were being created, and those were these pillars. So essentially, what they're saying is that the USGS recently just posted a couple years ago, is what he said here, that these are gas bubbles pretty much coming up and crystallizing. The gas was crystallizing in the lava as they were trying to make their way up through this blanket of lava and ash. And that's what these brick pillars here, all the same size, equidistantly spaced, that's how they were created. Okay? They were gas bubbles forming bricks here laying horizontally, right? Make sense? Okay, that's what he says.
This is all part of the Bishop Tuff that was deposited when the Long Valley caldera formed 767,000 years ago. These are all pyroclastic flow deposits from that eruption.
Pyroclastic flow deposits. Now he's going to talk about the gas bubbles and all that. We're not going to do that, Shawn. No, we're not going to do that, baby. So we're going to go right over here. I'm going to show you something here. He's going to skip past something here, which is very suspicious to me because it's intentional. Watch this.
The columns here. So the idea would be...
Okay, this is embarrassing, first of all. Watch this. So these are all equidistantly spaced, evenly spaced, and they're alternating right here. You got, here, let me back up. Sorry. Hello, baby. Oh, that's a baby. Oh, don't you cry when I'm doing my video. You were outside for an hour just now, eh? And now the coyotes are out there. And no, you're not. No, you're not. You're going to be out there with the coyotes. They'll eat you for breakfast. Give me a break. Yeah, you. You're not going to go out there with coyotes. Give me a break. And you know why. They're not friendly. Excuse me.
A little bit lower, and you can see down along the shoreline, there's some really picturesque ones there.
Excuse me.
But
so you see this right here? These are all. You're such a turkey. You're such a turkey. Hello. Okay. And you're. Oh my goodness. It's just such a baby butt. Okay, so these are all equidistantly spaced, and if you can see here, we got one down here, one up here, one down here, one up here, one down here, one up here. You see that alternating pattern? That's embarrassing, Shawn Weasel. This is an archaeological site, and you're calling this a geological formation. It's an archaeological site here. You see these pillars here, these colonnades. There's one up above here, and they're alternating. You got 2 rows here of columns, and they're alternating like this. Give me a fucking break. This is embarrassing, Shawn Weasel, that you're in these walls back here. And he's trying to avoid these walls right here because they don't fit the narrative. Sure, when you're talking, if you want to talk in terms of physics, yes, a gas bubble essentially coming through a medium and then crystallizing as it does so could form a column because a round bubble coming upward does form a cylindrical column, right? If a bubble is going upward in a thick medium, it's going to form a column shape, right? If it goes straight up, a round bubble. So that could explain these columns, even though it's not so. It could, right? Not these square ones over here, which he's avoiding. Not these square ones over here, which is these walls, which he's avoiding. The walls don't fit that narrative. That would not work. Now watch what he does thereof.
So these were all part. We're just outside the caldera here, and these are all part of the Bishop Tuff that erupted again 767,000 years ago. Something has happened that has made The ash here, though, the tuff, much harder than it would be otherwise.
Okay, this is where he talks about the gas bubbles and talks about how they formed. And no, you're not going to do that on my show. We're going to skip past that. I'm going to show you what you do here, which is anomalous. I'm going to show my friends here what you do.
The crowds
Watch this now. Watch this.
Form the columns here. So the idea would be that the fluids coming up through the ash sheet were spaced out, and these are the conduits then for the ash sheet as it was rising.
Conduits trying to make their way through the medium upward and crystallizing as they did so. He just said it right there. So there's that idea. Now watch this.
That makes up these columns here. Again, it's like super crowded. I had no idea.
And he's crying. And he's crying with the people down below. They're 30 feet down below you, you son of a bitch. They're 30 feet down below you, you son of a bitch. You're crying about these people down here. They're not even anywhere near you, you jackwagon. I'm sorry, but this is ridiculous.
Like two big groups here.
Oh yeah.
It's actually quite a tricky spot to get to.
And you know why that is? Because it's because they don't want people near here. They don't want people checking this stuff out. That's why these places are always tricky to get to. They're always so tricky to get to because they don't want anybody near these sites. Really, taking pictures and such and looking at the stuff thoroughly and investigating this stuff like I am from afar as well. And that dirty water, that dirty water. Maybe you got some swamp gas poisoning here, Shawn Weasel. You're always near these dirty, gross lakes in these areas where there's not much water. See, I'm from the area of the land of 10,000 lakes, and our water's clean, baby. That water floweth from beneath, and I'll tell you what, that water right there ain't clean. And you may have some swamp gas poisoning. That may be where some of your issues come from. But let's continue.
It's a Saturday. Do what you can.
Yeah, is this embarrassing or what? Is this embarrassing? It's an archaeological site here, and he's just walking around here calling this geology. And you can see there's a writing of walls in columns and pillars and so on and so forth and such. And give me a break. That dirty water that is getting swamp gas poisoning. I mean, that's why your brain ain't working so well.
Do a nice little view of the.
Yeah. Shut up, Shawn.
Look at the rocks here up close here in a second. We'll go look at.
Okay, so we're gonna look at the rocks up here up close in a second. Is what he just said, right? And earlier we said we're gonna look at some of the geology and break it down, right? So we saw some tufa pillars, and these aren't tufa pillars either. They're exactly the same as tufa pillars. I've had Shawn Weasel on as a guest before, and we looked at tufa pillars, and these are the same thing, but he's not calling these tufa pillars. These are conduits of some kind of some gas bubbles that crystallized. But you see right angle straight walls here, right? And right here, this right angle wall right here. So here's a new feature of geology, and that's what we're doing. We're looking at geology, right? So, and you just said just now, we're gonna look at some features here and some rocks. Well, here's something new and of high interest. If we're looking at geology, and really there's only two features here. There's the columns that we saw, the pillars, and then there's these walls. And watch what he does here.
These pillars. Let's maybe head this way.
Yeah, let's maybe head this way and get away from the walls. Let's maybe head this way and get away from the walls. Because he does not want to have to address that anomaly if anybody asks any questions. Why are those walls straight right there? How the gas bubble coming up form a straight, flat wall right there with a right angle? With a right fucking angle here. Watch this. Listen again.
From up top. And then we'll go look at the rocks here up close here in a second. We'll go look at these pillars. Let's maybe head this way.
Yeah, too many walls that way. There's too many walls that way, so I'm going to go this way. Way too many straight, flat walls. And I already got too many shots of him on the camera already, so I'm going to move this way. Give me a break. And he doesn't know anything. And he doesn't know anything, right? All we're doing here is looking at geological features, and there only is two of them, the pillars and those walls he just walked away from. All there was here is those walls he just walked away from. When we're talking geology, I'm speaking. There was the pillars and the walls, and he just walked away from the walls. So obviously we're not looking at geology. We're walking away from the geology because that's all there was here. Is those walls that he just avoided and the pillars that we saw that he lied about. Right? Yes. Embarrassing. And then folks still want to say I'm being too harsh on this guy and they don't know anything. You can't be harsh on them. They're just the messenger. Don't be up the messenger. He's not a messenger. Give me a fucking break. He's avoiding stuff on purpose because he knows to avoid this stuff. It doesn't fit his narrative. And I've seen many. This is not the only example which solidifies that belief I have that he knows something and he's hiding something. I've seen this time and time again with him, time and time again, and I don't expose the geologists that I really don't know, because there are some other ones that I would just love to just destroy. Okay, however, I just am not certain enough if they know. There hasn't been enough. There hasn't been enough clues made, clear, indicating that they would, that they're being deceptive. But the folks that I do, which are three, Myron, Nick, and Shawn Weasel, they have proved time and time again to me, and some of them outright, Nick, that they are hiding something intentionally. So I love you all. Take care. Let's move on a little bit here. See what we're looking at. A few more things here. I'm not gonna let him speak anymore. But I think he takes one more look here at some of these columns. Yeah, look how they're evenly spaced. And look at these walls down here. They're straight, flat walls. He's trying to avoid them. They're down below him right there. And yeah, so we avoid the straight wall section. We come over here. We're looking down this way. Oh, wait. Listen to this. Listen to this. Oh, well, never mind. I'm not going to let him speak anymore. But he was talking about how, like,
so a nice little view of them from up top, and then we'll go look at the rocks here up close here in a second. We'll go look at these pillars. Let's maybe head this way and get away from the crowds. I normally don't like making these things with a big group of onlookers. Kind of makes me nervous.
Hey, right there. That's what I wanted you to hear. It kind of makes me nervous. I don't like doing this with a big group of onlookers because it makes me nervous. You know why it makes you nervous, you son of a bitch? Because you're lying. You would have no issue. You would have, if you weren't lying or if you weren't hiding something that you knew was wrong. You would have no issue being out here talking about the lands and what they're made of and all this. It's a beautiful thing, right? Yeah, but you're lying about it, right? And you don't want people to hear your nonsense. That's why it makes you nervous when people are around. When you're giving nonsense to the camera, right? When you're lying to the camera, that's why it makes you nervous. It should not make one nervous. But thou hast committed transgression, correct? Yes. Yes. And frankly, I don't feel bad for you. But, however, if you ever do decide to change your mind and join in with Meltology, I personally will welcome you. And I will read you in and teach you in personally myself. I would even drive down there to your area out there in the West and show you and teach you in on what I know about Meltology, eh? So you're welcome to join in. But until then, you're a target, baby. You're a target, baby, and it's gonna get worse. Okay, and that's not me threatening you. I am not in control of how others react to the truth, but I'm gonna put the truth out there. That's what I'm saying, and I can't control how others will react to it. I love you all. Take care. You included, Sean. I love you too, Shawn Weasel. You better get with it.